Hi guys, Toby Morrison here and welcome to today's online training. Today we're going to be talking about chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. If you're at home and you're watching this, you may be suffering with symptoms like extreme fatigue, lethargy, swollen glands and a sore throat, flu-like symptoms, brain fog, headaches and dizziness, muscle aches and pains, gut problems, secondary anxiety, depression, and sleep problems, which is ironic because most people who think about chronic fatigue syndrome, they think, oh, you must just sleep all day, and like that must be nice just to sleep all day. And it's such an insult because with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibro, usually your sleep is very disturbed and interrupted, and you have sleep irritability. And there are many, many more symptoms that go along with these two illnesses. So who is this training for? This is for anyone interested in improving the quality of their life, want to know the key steps that thousands of people, including myself, have taken to make recovery possible. However, by no means is this an overnight quick fix. If you are looking for an overnight cure, please stop watching this now. There is no quick fix magic pill. The sooner you stop looking for it, the quicker recovery can start to happen for you. And that is absolutely 100% true. The sooner you stop looking for the quick fix solutions, the sooner you can really start to make progress with your recovery. Keep watching if you want genuine practical help that you can implement in your own life to help you make recovery possible. Before we get started on the online training, I just want to say one thing. Chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia is 100% real. This is not all in your head, like some people do say. And I've had seriously hundreds of clients in my online program who have been told by their initial doctors or GPs that it's all in their head, that they're just depressed, that they just need to think more positively. And so I just want to let you know that no, that's not true. It's not all in your head. You are not going crazy, and what you are going through is real. And that's just really important for you to know at home, and your loved ones as well. If they're watching this, it's really important that they know and you know that what you're experiencing and going through is not made up, and it's 100% real. In today's online training, we are going to cover the 3 key recovery mistakes that you may be making and understand exactly what you need to do to overcome them. You'll also hear some amazing stories of people like you who have recovered from ME, CFS, and fibro to inspire you and to give you hope. About your host, who is Toby Morrison? Well, that's me from not long ago with my puppy Ziggy at the time. She was a puppy, she's now 1. And we're on the back of my kayak, kayaking around the river. Now, about me, I actually suffered with chronic fatigue syndrome almost 15 years ago now. And back then, there was very, very little help out there, especially online. And what happened with me was I was a really active, fit person. I was an energizer bunny, like most people who get chronic fatigue syndrome. They're not lazy people. And I was always trying to get the most out of myself. And I trained a lot and I did lots of sport and I was always socializing and doing things. And eventually I got a thing called glandular fever, what you would call mono in the United States. And from there, I just never recovered and I got progressively worse over a period of 6 months. I went from being the fittest kid at school or teenager at school to being the most deconditioned person in my school. Literally, my grandmother was fitter than me. I could barely walk for 1 minute without being exhausted. And my life literally turned upside down very fast. And it was a really scary period in my life and something that will stick with me forever. And that's why I'm here to help you guys, because the pain that I went through back then was so excruciating and so hard for me to go through that I didn't want to let anyone else have to suffer like I had to on my own. Luckily, now I am fully recovered. Not luckily. When I say luckily, I don't mean that it was just pure luck and chance. I did things that helped me get better. And in this online training today, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did and what everyone who has recovered has done as well. This is the life of a recovered CFS sufferer. There's me and my dog Ziggy camping. These are some of the things I just love to do at the moment. I love camping. I love to do artwork, particularly resin art. You'll see there. That's me kayaking out in the ocean. And I love waking up for sunsets with my pup and going for a walk. And this is the thing, like none of this was possible 15 years ago for me. Like people look at that and go, oh, you mustn't have been that bad. But, you know, like I said, I mean, even Dr. Lionel Lubitz, who was the head of CFS in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, you know, he kind of classified me as one of the worst patients he had ever seen. You know, things like brain fog and extreme exhaustion and just so lethargic, and I always had a cold or a flu and my glands were always swollen. I lost 20 kilos of muscle weight in a period of 6 months. Like I literally just deconditioned to the point where I could barely move. And this is coming from a really fit, active person. So it was a really hard time. And, you know, we tried everything. My parents were really, really supportive, and we tried literally everything to the point where I went to some kind of wacky doctor and he made me hum happy birthday while he tapped on my back, and I'd hum happy birthday. And you might be laughing at this at home because, you know, as you know, you would do anything to get better. And that's one of the things I tried to do to get better. And sadly, after doing that session, there wasn't much improvement, but I learned a lot of things on what not to do, but also what to do. And I basically trialed and errored everything that I could grasp within my realm, and actually put together a plan for me to move forwards and improve my life and eventually fully recover. Things I also love to do is surfing. I love surfing. Most people, most of my online members know about that. I travel around the world and surf amazing waves. And I just love socializing and seeing my friends and just connecting with people who are really important to me. And I just want to let you know that, you know, I never thought this was possible. And so I just want you to know that you need to realize that you might not believe that it's possible for you right now, and that's okay, because either did I 15 years ago. But I just want to let you know that it is absolutely possible. And I'm going to show you some other stories, not just me. I'm going to show you some older people, some younger people who have also got their own amazing story to inspire you. Why would you listen to me? Well, obviously, you've just heard my personal story, just a small part of it. I could literally talk about it for hours if we had time. You know, I've helped over 1,000 people with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. We've got people in 43 countries in my online recovery program who are making small and big improvements every single day. If you've seen my YouTube channel, you've obviously seen, you know, thousands of people have viewed that, over 500. I think we're at 600,000 views currently right now. And I've been helping people with chronic fatigue syndrome over the last 10 years. I ran a clinic in Melbourne, Australia for the first 4 years of this program, and then we transferred it onto an online program so we could help a lot more people from all around the world, because one of the most common things I hear is there's just no support in my country, especially in Europe and, you know, just everywhere. It doesn't matter what country. Everyone says the same thing. There's just no one really gets it. There's not much support here. There's no one who can really help me with this. And so that's why I'm here. That's what I'm here to do, to help you guys through this. All right, let's get into today's training. So the 3 key recovery mistakes. Mistake number 1. This is one of the biggest things, and I'm going to get through this quite quickly because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if you can get through this, at the end of this, I'm going to share with you some amazing stories, and I'm also going to tell you exactly what I did and what all my online members who have recovered have done to get there. But you need to learn these 3 things first, because these are the 3 things that really hold a lot of people back, and I'm going to find some solutions for you with this too. So mistake number 1 is thinking that there is one thing that will fix you. Like I said before, I tried so many things in the past, but a lot of the time I actually thought that they were going to fix me. And it was just constantly trying so hard to find that person who would cure me and fix me of my problem. Mistake number 1, why is it a problem? This is a mistake because if you put all your eggs in one basket, you're going to be disappointed. And here's the thing, it's never just one thing that helps with recovery. It's a combination of things. The problem with this mistake is you're going to feel disappointment. You're going to feel like you're failing. You're going to spend thousands of dollars. I know my parents did. I did even with my own savings. As a later teenager, I spent my own money on things that didn't work, and I just didn't get any improvement. And in some cases, you feel worse. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of you at home who are watching this, who you've tried something and you've actually gotten worse because of someone's advice or ill advice. And I'm sure their intentions were maybe good most of the time, but sometimes, especially if people don't understand the illness, then it's going to be very hard for them to help you with it. The solution is you need to understand a holistic approach is super important. And when I mean holistic approach, I mean you focusing on things that you can help yourself with on a holistic level. The other thing with literally putting your eggs in one basket is you're setting yourself up for failure. Remember I told you that story about humming happy birthday and that guy tapping on my back? I honestly believed that he would fix me. And when I literally, had 5 or 10 sessions with him, he said to me, all right, you're cured, my boy. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't really feel any different now. And I said, what can I do? And he goes, oh, you can go for a run again. And I was like, oh, okay, I haven't ran for 4.5 years, but I miss it, so I'm going to try and do it. And if you're like me, you're someone who's positive and you just want to try and get the most out of yourself. So I put on my brand new joggers I hadn't used yet. And I went for a jog. And literally within 3 minutes, my body just went into shutdown and I had a major setback. And, I was literally bedbound for another 2 weeks. And I had a realization and a real changing moment for me. And that was when I literally realized that no one outside of me can fix me. People can help me. Things can help me. Programs can help me. But no one outside of me can fix me. It's up to me to help myself. And that was a huge change for me, because then I started to focus on exactly what I'm talking about here, having a holistic approach and literally covering the 5 keys, which we'll get into later. But basically, we're talking about routine structure, quality sleep, nutrition, restorative movement and rebuilding and reconditioning your body, and then mindset and stress and anxiety management. Those are the 5 key things that we can actually, control in our own lives and have an impact on. And they, day to day, make the biggest changes in our life. And why do I say that? Because one, it's what's worked for me in my own recovery, but also it's worked for thousands of people who I've helped. This is a perfect example. This is Erin Enright. Saw the best doctors at Stanford University. She's from America, and she still had no improvement. When she joined the program, she switched to making practical daily changes and started to make progress. Now, Erin didn't understand the concept of having a holistic approach, and she didn't understand things like baseline and restorative movement and rebuilding at your own pace. And so here you have Erin on Instagram sharing with everyone that she's just got a brand new surfboard to go surfing. And now she's fully recovered and she travels around the world. She loves skiing and snowboarding, and you might see her YouTube video of an interview about her. You might see her story written up somewhere as well. She's an amazing person who, again, got the best help from some of the best doctors in the world, but still didn't notice any improvement. In fact, she got worse. And then when she joined the program, she literally started to focus on a holistic approach that really made a massive key difference for her. Mistake number 2, waiting. Why is this a problem? If you're constantly waiting to improve, the problem is there, your symptoms are going to worsen, you're going to become more deconditioned, and you're going to have a weakened body, and you're going to have no hope. And a lot of people are told you just need to rest all the time. And the problem with resting all the time is exactly what I've just told you here. You become more deconditioned, weakened body, weakened immune system, and also there's no hope because you're not progressing. Now, I'm not saying don't rest. I'm just saying that you need to have an appropriate amount of rest and activity for you specifically. Everyone's different, obviously. So it's really important that, yeah, you don't do nothing, but you also don't do too much. And I'll share with you why in a second. The biggest effect of this problem is it's harder to get started. It's overwhelming and daunting, because I know a lot of people get really scared of recovery after a while because they don't know where to start and they feel like it's just all too consuming. The other thing is you have no control or potential active self-change. It's completely passive. And when you're in a completely passive state and you're not doing anything to help yourself, you don't feel useful. And, you know, things like guilt and shame and anger and frustration start to seep in and you just don't feel good about it. And I think that really does affect your long-term recovery if you're feeling that way a lot of the time. And by no means am I saying this is all in your head. Like I said at the start, what you're going through is 100% real. But we know that this affects you emotionally. Like, of course it's going to affect how you feel emotionally when your life isn't what you want it to be. And this is where it's really important to shift that waiting mentality into doing something for you to help yourself with recovery and you know, having a plan. The solution: you need to have a plan for you, and specifically to you. You can't just follow someone else's advice on what they're doing. You need to have a plan for you. You need to have active participation creates forward motion. Take control of what you can do. And I know a lot of people say they can't do much, but I want to share with you a pretty amazing story about this lady. So this is Michelle. This is a before and after photo before she joined the program and literally 1 month after she joined the program. And I want to tell you exactly what she did. So you can see on the left, she looks grey, she looks unwell, she's been sick for 10 years. To be honest, this lady had more illnesses than I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. She was in a very bad way. She basically couldn't leave her bedroom. The only time she left her bedroom was to go to the toilet or to a doctor's appointment. She couldn't even eat at her dinner table with her mum, who was her carer, because she was that ill. And Michelle is a perfect example of starting with what she could do. And her starting point was literally just lifting her head off the pillow. Her starting point was sitting up in bed for a couple of minutes at a time. Her starting point was brushing her teeth in the morning and night. And her starting point was having a shower every third day. Like, these things that she started to focus on slowly built over time. And within a month, she made steady progress to the point where she was able to walk down her stairs and actually have meals with her mother, which was pretty amazing in itself. She made great progress after 6 months. She had all these goals that she wanted to achieve as she started to make progress. And one of her goals was to get down to the local beach, which was 20 minutes away, and put her feet in the water, which she hadn't done for 10 years. And she did it. She actually did it. And after about a year, Michelle got her life back. Now she's an independent woman. She doesn't need a carer. She can drive. The last time, actually, in fact, she messaged me not long ago. I've got my phone right here. What'd she say? I've got her message here. This is what she said. Your incredible post in 2014 popped up on my Facebook memory today. I am blown away by what 3 years of progress looks like. Every day I am more and more like my old self again. My body, spirit and mind are getting healthier and healthier. I've said it before, but today especially, after seeing your June post in 2014, I'm forever grateful for all your wisdom in helping me get my life back. Please never doubt the impact you are making in the world, Toby. I'm so grateful that our paths crossed and that I joined the program. And this is a lady who was like I said, she even said to me she wanted to give. She was close to giving up before she joined the program. And so, again, this is someone who's gone from waiting to then having an active participation in her own doing and her own recovery that has made the biggest difference for her. And that's Michelle's story. Pretty amazing for a 55-year-old woman who has suffered for 10 years plus with multiple illnesses, not just chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Mistake number 3, pushing and crashing. Or the opposite, which is stuck. Now, a lot of you have probably experienced this where you're pushing and crashing. I call it the push-crash cycle, where you push, and then you crash. And I call this the valley of death, where you crash down. So it's like you spike up because you've got this energy and you feel great and you're going to change the world, and then all of a sudden and you feel like crap again. And the valley of death is basically this dip where it goes below your baseline level. And in that area, that's where all the symptoms start to flare up and you just feel worse and worse and worse. And the problem with pushing and crashing is you can never be consistent. You just constantly go around in circles. It's one step forwards, 3 steps back. Does that sound familiar at home? I'm sure it does. And the other thing is, the opposite of that is being stuck, where you do nothing because you're scared of overdoing it. And so these two mistakes are really important to overcome. Why is the problem? Again, like I said before, it's 1 step forwards, 4 steps back. That's what it feels like sometimes. I know a lot of people do struggle with this. This is one of the biggest things all our clients come to us for initially, is to get out of the push and crash cycle. Mistake number 3, what is the effect of this problem? You feel hopeless, lost, and you want to give up. How many times have you just questioned yourself, or you just feel like you're just getting nowhere, or you're not making any progress? I think that's the biggest problem when you don't see consistency in your recovery, is you start to like question everything, and it's like, well, what's the point? And you feel like just giving up. It's as simple as that. The solution. What do you need to solve this? You need to have a baseline. You need to build consistency and maintain progress. One of the things we teach people, I wish I had a graph for you, but basically we go in little cycles of progress and then management, progress, then management. And over time, there's a line. It's like a linear line that goes like this through it all. Yes, there might be some dips in there, and there might be some challenging months. But over time, if you build consistency over intensity and maintain and progress, you will be a lot better for it. As you can see here, this is Nicola. She's from UK, mother of 2. She felt like she was doing everything right, getting nowhere, and just getting frustrated. Like, I remember when she joined the program on the webinar, and she was just like, wow, like I'm doing everything and I'm not getting better. Like, why is this happening to me? Once she figured out her perfect sweet spot, she literally recovered within 9 months. Now, Nicola was halfway there. She'd already done the hard yards. She went from bedbound to like kind of functioning, but just not really getting past that stuck point. And once she realized that she was like overcomplicating things and almost trying too hard with her recovery, and what she learned through the program was to loosen the grip on that and actually focus on things that, 1, she really enjoyed, but 2, didn't make her stressed all the time. And when it really came together for her within the first 3 months, then she started to make really good progress. And again, now Nicola is fully recovered. She's with her family right there on a bike ride, as you can see, with her husband and 2 kids. And it's just amazing to see, because I know a lot of mums out there who do struggle with chronic fatigue syndrome. You know, Nicola was the same. She really struggled to leave the house, to do any physical movement, to go to social events and things like that was just impossible. So it's amazing what happens when everything clicks and when you do the right things for you. Mistake recap. So mistake number 1 was thinking one thing will fix you. We know that's going to lead to a disaster. So please don't do that anymore. You need to have a holistic approach. Mistake number 2 is waiting. We know that waiting is not going to change anything. In fact, it can make things worse. And 3, pushing and crashing, all the opposite, staying stuck. Now, staying stuck is staying in fear because you're scared of overdoing it. And the fear revolving around staying stuck is worse than actually doing the thing that you thought you were scared of. And so that fear loop cycle can really keep you stuck too, where you do nothing because you're scared of pushing and crashing. And that's not a healthy mindset to be in either, because if you're in that state and you're kind of scared of doing anything and over analytical of everything, then that can be exhausting in itself. So we want to make sure that we overcome that too, exactly what Nicola did before. Summary notes. So this is the solutions. Like I said before, you need to have a holistic approach. You need to focus on the 5 key pillars, which I spoke about and I'm going to talk about in a second too. You need to have a specific plan for you. Remember, not one size fits all. And you just need to work with where you're at right now. Everyone's at a different level. So you need to focus on yourself. And you need to get your baseline right. And when I talk about baseline, it's about figuring out what you can and can't do without making yourself feel worse. And that is your sweet spot. Now, this is kind of overwhelming to do on your own, and it's kind of scary, but there is help, obviously, and you can find your sweet spot and start to make progress. And once you do find that baseline for you and you find that routine and structure that suits you with flexibility, then you can start to build a healthy foundation on recovery and just rebuilding your health and your life again. Recovery is possible. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more inspired just after seeing those three people, those three people's stories, but there's a lot more to share with you. But how do I do all of this? You're probably asking, and what should I be doing specifically for me? You need to have a step-by-step plan and program to suit you. It needs to be specific to you, and you just need to have a plan. All these people had one thing in common. They all had a plan, and as you can see through this presentation and training, that there's some common themes that all these people have done to create recovery for them. You have to hit the key areas of recovery. Like I said before, you need to have a holistic approach. Obviously, one thing is about figuring out your baseline, how to stop the push and crash cycle and obtain stability and consistency. And consistency is key. People see that throughout my program and throughout everything that I talk about is, especially when you're at that stage of slowly recovering, you want to be able to string together, a few weeks on end without having these setbacks all the time that, and knock you back 4 or 5 steps where you can't move forwards again. The other things you need to really work on is getting a good daily routine and structure. Even if you're not a routine kind of person, you can still be flexible with your daily routine and structure, but you need to have one which will help you format your day better. It'll help you with your sleep, which is the next quality sleep. Again, same thing with nutrition and gut health. And the thing with holistic nutrition, it's about flexible nutrition. It's not about a one size fits all diet, because that just doesn't work. As you know, you've probably tried lots of things, and it's more about intuitive eating. REM, which is restorative exercise movement, and stretches to give you energy rather than deplete you. And this is the other thing, like a lot of you guys at home don't know what to do to recharge you. And there's a thing that I talk about, which is credits. And basically, let's say you have 10 credits per day and you use them up throughout the day. Now, 1 credit might be waking up and having a shower, or that might take 3 credits away from you. It depends on where you're at. Walking for 1 minute might take a credit away from you, or it might take 5 credits away from you. Other people, maybe going to a part-time job takes 3 credits or 4 credits from you. And so by the end of the day, you've probably lost more than 10 credits. And what you can do is counterbalance it by doing restorative exercise movement to recharge your body and actually gain credits. Things like breathing exercises, restorative movement exercises, things that actually ground you and give you energy rather than deplete you. And so that's what we talk about, with everyone who has a plan. That's what you've got to actually implement. Same thing with mindfulness and breathing, progressive exercise movement. You need to recondition your body without feeling worse. And basically that means not pushing yourself to get healthier and stronger, but you need to have a plan to rebuild and recondition your body specifically for you. Stress and anxiety management, that's the other thing. Stress is, I think now, the number 1 cause of chronic illness and disease at the moment. And it's not a surprise, because, what you're going through is already stressful, but life is stressful too. And so we need some tools and ways on how to overcome that stress and deal with that stress. And there are a lot of tools and ways to do that. And also overall lifestyle enhancement and progressing back into living, transitioning from recovery to living life again. And I think that's another thing, is like a lot of you guys at home are really scared to get better. And it sounds a bit counterproductive, but it makes sense. Like, it's scary on what to do next. Like, what's my life going to look like? And so again, you need to have a plan on really stepping back into life in a new way that's healthy and reliable, rather than kind of going back to the old you who pushes all the time and pleases everybody all the time, and is a people pleaser, and you put yourself last. This time round, it's about putting yourself first, or at least equal with your family. Because I know there are a lot of mums out there who struggle with that. This is Linda from Norway, again, posting my first win here. Started the program in February. Paddling the Forge has been one of my dreams since I got CFS in 2014. Today I did it, and it was amazing. Proud and very grateful for everything I've learned. And this is just another example of someone who was in complete stress, and just to be able to do things you once thought were impossible is so important. Like, the amount of people that have come to me and let me know that, God, like 6, 7 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, I didn't dream of doing anything that I'm doing now. And so it's really important that you realize that you're going to end up doing things that you once thought were impossible. It's just true. You need to stop the push and crash cycle and get back in control of your life. And I think you're probably nodding your head at home going, yes, I hear you, I understand you, and yes, I need to do that. So I have an exclusive opportunity for all of you who are watching this training right now. The exclusive opportunity is to get a one-on-one recovery plan assessment with me. Normally, to work with me, it's $250 a session. However, today only, the session is only $80, and it's for an initial recovery plan call. And as you can see, this offer is available for the next 48 hours only. And this is just because I literally can't fit everybody in. And this is obviously just for people who really want to get a bit more clarity around getting help, what to expect from the call. Now, if this is you and you do want help and you want to be like the other people who I've mentioned before, and this is some of the stuff that we're going to just cover in this initial call. Find out where you're currently at. Get confirmation on if you are doing all the right things. Ask any pondering questions regarding recovery that you have for me. Get clarity around what you need to be doing moving forward. So basically, this call is going to be a call around, okay, well, this is where I'm at and this is where I want to go. What do I need to do to get there? Get clear on exactly what you need to be focusing on now and in the future. And obviously at the end, we can chat about the online recovery program too, if it's something that you need and want to learn more about. And I will let you know, at the end of the call, if I feel like you'll benefit from the program, I'll let you know about it. But if I feel like you don't need it, then I'll tell you that too. We have lots of people who are booking calls, and sometimes they think that they really need the program, and sometimes they don't need the program. And then other people sometimes go into it thinking they don't need the program, and they do need the program, and they join up and get the right help. So like I said, we'll have a chat, we'll go through the call and kind of hear a little bit about your history and where you're at currently. And then from there, talk about what you need to be doing to really make recovery easier and more sustainable for you. And also, if you need further help, we can help you with that too. Question, but what if I am older, sicker, can't do anything, bedbound, have tried everything? And this is the thing, like, a lot of you know that it's not easy. It doesn't matter what age you're at, but as you can see in the past slides I've showed you, it is absolutely possible if you're older. We've had people in their 60s and 70s do the program and get help. If you're sicker, again, we don't compare one person to the other. Some people are literally bedbound completely, and they start from the ground up, and it really is a slow, steady process, and one that they can take at their own pace. This is all a self-paced thing. There's no like inflexible. You have to do this all the time. You're the boss of you, and you need to make decisions that are going to be healthy and sustainable for you and appropriate. And my job is to guide you through that. And if you've tried everything, the only difference that I can say between doing this and trying everything else is you've probably tried things that have been passive for you. So you've probably tried a lot of things that you're not in control of. You've probably gone to see lots of doctors and specialists and therapists and Chinese herbalists and acupuncturists, and they can sometimes be really helpful and useful. But what I've learned and why I'm so passionate about this is because you actually have to, where you're going to get the most results is where you spend the most time, and you have the most time in the day to help yourself. You have 24 hours every single day. And so what you do in those 24 hours every single day for a period of time will make an impact on how you feel. And so this, again, me and the program, we're not here to fix you. I'm not here to fix you or change you. I'm here to help you change yourself. And that's the difference. I'm teaching you stuff that you implement in your own life versus me trying to fix you with different modalities. That usually leads to failure and upset and lack of responsibility, which is just not what either of us want. So if you're feeling any of this, then obviously you just need to know that, you just need to start with where you're at and build from there. It's possible for you too. As you can see here, this is one of our online members. He went from hospital beds, literally, there's his girlfriend's spoon feeding him, to now running his own media business and obviously just living a full life, as you can see there, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to ask you a question. What would it feel like if you felt inspired? What would it feel like if you just had a little bit of purpose in your life again? What if you started doing the things that you love again? One of the biggest things that we talk about is starting to do things that you enjoy, because joy brings energy and joy brings calmness and joy brings a new lease on life. What would that feel like for you if you could just do a little bit of what you enjoy? One of my old friends, she had chronic fatigue syndrome too, and that's how I met her. She was a famous junior surfer, and when she was really ill with chronic fatigue syndrome, she couldn't surf, obviously, and this is her profession. And her dad would make her, this sounds a bit harsh to start with, but it's pretty cool, would actually take her down the beach, carry her to the beach, get a massive surfboard, and she would just lay on it in the ocean with her wetsuit on. And at the start, it was hard. Like, she'd just lay on it for 5 minutes and just be in the water and just kind of paddle around. But she said to me over time, as she was starting to get healthier and stronger, she did a little bit more. And then she caught her first wave again. And then she caught her second wave again. And then 5 minutes went to 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes went to 30 minutes. And she said that actually saved her, because if she didn't have it like that, even though sometimes it made her feel worse, but if she didn't have that, she felt like her life was over. And so that was just a really cool thing to, obviously I'm not saying for you to go out in the ocean and do that, because, you might not be into surfing. It might be really dangerous and not appropriate for you, but for her, that's what really helped her. But the real reason why I shared that with you is because even if you can just do 1 minute of enjoyment per day, it's better than none. And so I would definitely recommend doing that. If you could see real physical progress, what would that feel like for you if you could just look in the mirror or just feel within yourself, feel within your body that oh, wow, I'm actually getting a bit healthier and stronger and I'm feeling more sustained over a period of time? How would that feel, and what would that do for your life if you just had these things again? If you could just do a little bit of things you love, if you could seriously see the physical progress that you're making? Just take a moment now and just think about that. What would that do for you, and how would that feel in your body and yourself? Pretty cool feeling. I'm sure. I bet you're probably feeling something at home right now. Change can happen. As you can see, this is Suze, another one of our online members. She went from being bedbound, and she was really terribly in the push and crash cycle. She had no idea what to do. She didn't have any education, knowledge about this stuff. 4 years later, now she's that was over in France, actually, on a huge mountain that she hiked. And that's obviously in the snow, having a good old time. Sometimes we just need a little help, a little guidance, a little awareness outside of our own situation, a little plan to take little steps which lead to big changes. And this is the thing. It's not about just getting fully recovered and, trying to get to that end goal, because that can seem like a huge mountain to climb and that can kind of be scary. What I'm encouraging is you just improving 5 or 10% at a time. And those little steps, literally just tiny little changes, make the biggest difference over a long period of time. And one day you will look back and go, wow, look how far I've come. And that's what it's all about. Just little changes over a period of time. Nothing scary, nothing big. just appropriate small changes at the pace of your own readiness. And that's really, really key. And that's the other thing. Sometimes you might be doing everything that you think you should be doing, and all you need is a bit of awareness outside of yourself to go, oh, I was just doing it wrong, or what I was doing was right, but it was how I was doing it was the wrong way. And that's why I wanted to share that with you. So booking your recovery plan assessment. There are limited spots available. Obviously, this offer is only available for the next 48 hours. You just need to click the link. What you need to do is book in a set time for you. There's obviously different time zones, and click a time that suits you. And we will speak soon. And how we talk is either via Zoom, or I can call your mobile phone for free. It won't cost you anything. And, obviously, again, there are limited spots available, literally, because I do not have a calendar that can fit in hundreds of people per week. So if you're feeling called for this, then I recommend booking in. You've really got nothing to lose. We'll have a great chat. And it might be the first time that you've spoken to someone who actually gets it on an emotional and human level. So like I said, only book a call though if you really want help, and if you want to really understand and learn more about what you can do to help yourself. And if you're completely stuck and you're in a rut and you probably feel like you're not ready, and it's you want to give up, well, I just want to let you know that I've had so many other people go through exactly that feeling as well. And sometimes these calls and these changes can make the biggest difference over a long period of time. So like I said, click the link, book in your spot today if you want to get this opportunity. Normally it is $250, but like I said, you've watched this online training, so you've learned a lot of this stuff already. And I want to give you this opportunity to just set up a call and have a chat. I want to share with you one more story. This is Denise's story. She's a 53-year-old woman from Australia in Sydney. This is what she writes. I had been ill with CFS for 10 years. The most recent 4 of these years, I had been mostly in bed. I didn't have the energy to stand up or sit up. Light and sound were very difficult. So I spent most of my time in dark and in silence. In addition to the fatigue and cognitive impairment, I had very bad headaches which were not relieved by painkillers. I got out of bed to bathe and to eat. I didn't see friends, family, and I didn't talk on the phone much. I was very isolated. I remember speaking to Denise when she booked in her first call just like this, and she was very skeptical. She'd read, people, she'd been in support groups where they said that it's not possible to recover and there's nothing you can do to help yourself. And so she was very skeptical, and we spoke on the phone for quite some time. And I said, listen, have a think about it. Just make sure you make a decision based off your decision, not someone else's, and what you feel like you need. And so it was a huge step for her to, one, book in the call, but then to join the program, because obviously she'd tried, but she'd been sick for 10 years. She's obviously a really smart lady. And she almost wanted to give up. And that's what she said. If I had not discovered CFS Health, I believe I would not have had the belief that I could recover or the knowledge to do so. And Denise has just made huge improvements over the past 2 years, really. In the past 18 months, my health has gone from strength to strength. She writes, I'm enjoying the simple things again, like being able to plan a meal, shop for ingredients, and cook. I can make a date and be confident that I can keep it. I'm going out for meals again, going on holidays, meeting new people, and making new friends. I recently went out for New Year's Eve for the first time in 8 years. There's Denise there. Denise, again, over 10 years of suffering with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. She had both. And she's just made, like I said, she's just got her life back. And she's done it in her own pace, which has been brilliant. She hasn't been pushed and prodded. She's literally learnt what she's learnt from the program and implemented over a period of time that suited her. She goes, I enthusiastically recommend this program to everyone that I meet with CFS or fibromyalgia. For a condition where there is so little understanding and so few solutions, CFS Health made recovery possible for me. And that's just another person who's really made amazing changes for making a leap of faith in a way when she was in such a dire situation. Feeling overwhelmed about full recovery. Don't worry, everyone in the program is on their own timeline. We have people in the program who are just starting out and making small improvements gradually. Your speed does not matter. Forwards is forwards, and that's improvement. And that's the thing that I will say to you on the phone as well. Don't compare yourself to yesterday, or don't compare yourself to who you were before, and don't compare yourself to anyone else who's recovering. You just need to focus on yourself. And that's a really key, important process for you, not just now, but for long term. Booking a call today, like I said, this is your last opportunity to do so. All you need to do is click the link. You'll be taken to a booking page. You'll see the time zones. Click your specific time zone. You'll have a set of times. It'll look like there is a lot of spaces, but there's actually only a couple of spaces per week. So you need to make sure that if you do want to grab this and you don't want to miss out on a spot, then book in, like I said, within the next 48 hours, or you can do so straight right now and just commit to it and get into it. You have a choice. You can continue on your own journey of recovery and do it your way, which is absolutely fine. And if you do that, I honestly do hope the best for you. I want you to make the most of it. I hope you got heaps out of this training, this free training on its own. However, you can book in a call, get the right plan, and be supported on your journey to better health. And sometimes it's not just about getting a plan, but sometimes it's just about being supported and understood. And that's really important too. So invest in your health. Click the link to book in. I also just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you really did get a lot out of this. If you did get a lot out of it, send me an email, info@cfshealth.com. If you have any questions regarding the program that were not answered, please email info@cfshealth.com. If you have any problems with the booking a session, just email info@cfshealth.com. Just let us know and we'll make sure that you do get that offer that is available for the next 48 hours. To all those that have taken action and booked a call, you will get an email. Make sure you check your junk folder from me with your booking details. I look forward to helping you on your journey to better health, not just me, but all our other members who are in the program too. And like I said, we will go over a little plan on what you need to be doing moving forwards. By the end of this call, that's what you will know. And if you want to learn more, obviously, about joining the program, we can talk about that too. So I look forward to helping you guys. If you feel inspired, if you feel called, if you feel like you got a lot out of this, then booking in a call, you will get so much more because it's going to be individual and you're going to be set up on the right path. So thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.